better off, to be perfectly honest. So do you think you have to have a certain manner, a certain way?
No, Princess, you do. Princess, let me tell you, where I work, innit? But the young people where I work at the moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, some of the, like, I'll be real, some of them, the way they are with the social workers, and they talk to them, I'm like, rah. So when I go there, like, there's one young person, in my team, and I said, listen, you think you could talk to me like that? Don't think I'm any brother, you know? No, you can't chat to a man like. I said, listen, I'm G-checking you on your behaviour. Don't think I'm any social worker. You're gonna come and talk stink to me. A difference between your social worker here and me is that I'll keep it 100 with you. I said to him, listen, bruv, you're moving mad. You're moving mad. I'm telling you right now, you're moving mad. You're not going to school. Why not going to school? Oh, no, what's long? So what are you doing in your yard then? Get up and go to school. There's one young person, I went to his house, I said, get up and go to school, please.
They need that. You went there.
Get up and go to school. And I walked him to school. They're like, rah, like, Nana, you can't. And the mum's like, no, you need us to get up and go to school. I said, listen, if you don't go to school, this is what's going to happen. The school are going to email your social worker, who's going to email me. So one way or the other, I'm going to know about it. So if you don't go to school, I'm going to be on your door. Young person, for instance, didn't go to school. Best believe I want his door, you know. I was like, bruv,
that's what's needed.
Get up.
That's what's
go
needed.
To school, get on the bus, and say, if you go missing, it's peak for you. That's how social workers need to be. You need to just keep it 100 and be real and be authentic. I know managers go and say, you know what, you got to be professional.
But that's a problem.
But listen, there's corporate. And it's being authentic. I call it, what's my model called? Street social work. Yeah. You lot are going to hear about that. And I've written a model. There's street corporate and there's street social work. This is what I've created. I've written it. You need to keep it 100.
And I think that's the difference between youth offending. With youth offending,
you lot are raggo.
We don't mess about.
Yeah, you lot are raggo. You don't care.
Right, yeah? Right? Social workers now, there's an industry of, you can't.
Bruv, not me though.
No, wait.
Why is that?
You can't talk up. Right? But as I said, Nana's great, right? But if we're talking about as a whole,
yeah.
Oh, I don't want to talk up because I might offend people.
Yeah.
Just talk up the thing, man.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because in
youth
offending, we don't play, In youth offending, right, Listen, we talk.
Their lives are in the balance.
Like,
bruv,
we don't know.
There's mandem in youth offending. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's not even.
But it's also the approach you have to have.
I don't think it's mandem. I think it's just our aura and how we go about things and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, once again, because people think that it's a male. Nah, it's actually quite balanced in
Is
youth.
there?
Yeah.
There's lots of women who are in youth offending.
Do you think there's less restrictions on you and less kind of scrutiny on you?
Not really. You have to remember, right? You're dealing with the court of law. The court of law.
It's true.
You understand, right? Yeah. And most youth offending probation officers are qualified social workers as well.
Yeah, they're just not practicing in social work.
Right, yeah. So when you're dealing with the court of law, so you're dealing with young people who's on tags or they've got court orders.
They've got YROs.
Right?
Or referral
going to court, right? So you're dealing with the court now, This is prison, right? Right?
Or secure.
If you don't behave yourself, you're going to Feltham for 2 years.
You're remanded,
Or there could be, there's a thing called Channel Prevent, where the Home Office gets involved now. We're getting deeper now. You understand where I'm coming from? But so in our sector, you have to be a certain way. With social work now, which Nana rightly said, right? There's still that stigma of.
It's corporate, Princess. That's the problem. It's social work is corporate, and although I get the reason why, part of my model that I've written is that the moment that you step out of the office, you're going into the community. Yeah. So what do you see in community? High street, barbershop, hair salon, and Iceland. You're going into the community, culture. So sometimes that corporate way of working in the office, it doesn't work when you go into the community. And that's what I'm saying to social work is that have the balance correct. But when you go into working with families don't want to also hear professional jargon. They want you to be personable. They want you to be real.
Relatable.
This is what the concerns are. Mum, dad, this is what the issues are. Dad, you need to fix up. Mum, you need to fix up. This is my policy and procedures. And that's the same thing as well. When I talk to families, the disconnect, I told families the truth. I'm like, we've got the referral, but but we're here at the bottom. Are you going to come take my kids away? No, that's not my role. And I don't want it to get to that place where we're going to go to court.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
That is a big problem because I have a lot of people that will come and say, Princess, social workers, they're involved with my child, they're going to take my kids. And I say, what plan are they on?
There you go,
and
Princess,
they said, it's a child in need plan.
You've got assessment, Princess, you've got the referral. I say to families, the referral doesn't come from us, comes from anybody, the member public or any professional. You've got child and family assessments, you've got child in need, you've got child protection, you've got the legal arena. Even the legal arena, you've got pre-proceedings, and you've got court. So there's levels, and I think that
but then you know what, right? Yeah, like so, because I hear what you're saying, right? Yeah. So with a family, it's all about having an advocate to talk on their behalf. Right, because
that's so important.
No, because Nana's right. Because Nana's right,
so
right?
Important.
Yeah. Because you have to remember, once again, there are a lot of, as I said, ethnic minority groups in our community, right?
Yeah.
They're not aware, right? Yeah, they're not informed, right? Yeah,
that's right.
They don't know the jargon, right? Yeah. So my advice is to always get a family support worker from a
And how do people access a family support worker?
So they go to their local family wellbeing centre.
Yeah, or children's centres. So they can actually go.
Well, they can go.
Yeah.
Right? And then that family support worker can work on behalf for them with the social worker.
I think that's what's lacking.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's what's lacking.
So they need an advocate. Right,
but also, Princess, as well, it's about social workers being clear about.
I was gonna say, not everybody is as honest as you.
Yeah, I just keep it real, Princess. Yeah,
but I think that should be mandatory.
Yeah, but it's your job.
That's good practice. But you would be surprised how many social workers do not disclose that actually this process is voluntary. You don't have to partake in it. However, later on, it may not be.
There you go.
So that's not clear to them because, and also the way referrals come in and the duty of care of professionals to refer, it doesn't mean that you've done anything terribly wrong. This has been flagged. Now we're just asking you what the situation is, etc. It can be closed at this point. They don't realize that. So it's a panic now, and it causes so much undue stress and pressure. And I've seen things actually go completely 360 where somebody's trying to implement healthy boundaries for their children. But what's happened is social services have come in and they feel like, oh my goodness, if I don't do everything my child wants me to do, my child is going to get taken away. So it actually disempowers the parent instead of empowering the parent because they don't know what their rights are when the government is involved with their children because they think these people have the power, more power than me.
You are right. I think one of the conversations we had not too long ago, right? Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. A social worker, to a degree, it's almost like, okay, this is the service that I can provide for you. Right, so from day one, because I think sometimes there's a disconnect with what can be provided and what can't be provided. Right. And yes, I remember, like we're superheroes, right? But we can't give you everything. We can only give you certain to a degree. And I think sometimes that's what needs to that from day one. That's what needs to be sort of like okay. I can give you A, B, C, D.
I can make these referrals.
I can do these referrals, or I can get you vouchers, or help you with I don't know.
Or I have to go to panel to get. As a social worker, be clear. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. If a family says to you, so families may ask, Princess said to me, "Oh, Nana, look, can you support me with funding for this?" I always go and say, "Okay, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my panel, go to a panel to get my senior management approval. Let the families know you're going to take it there. I will let you know what the answer is, whether it's yes or no. Or I'm going to make a referral to this charity, and I'll let you know." So often when families were in hardship, I had good relationship with charities like the Bottle Trust. So I was able to make referrals to get families, say, for example, new washing machines. So I would do the referral and I'd even forward the referral on to the family, say, "Look, I've done it. This is what stage it's at. Okay, look, we've got it. It's been accepted." No, it hasn't. So I think the issue, Princess, as well, is that I think a lot of social workers are not always clear with families. You have to be clear with families. If a referral comes in, you tell the family where it came from. The referral came in from the school. The school raised the concerns because actually your child's not attending punctually, or the school got concerns regarding your child's presentation. We have to be clear where it's come from. And also the professionals outside, Princess, also, they don't like to let families know they've made a referral.
Right,
I'm sorry.
which is odd.
If you work with children and families, part of your job role is
some secret thing go on.
And already that's distrust.
Yeah, distrust.
From
You've
the
got to tell
start.
families, look, you know what? I've got these concerns, and I made the referral, and this is the reason why I made the referral.
Right.
But the families often don't know, and some professionals are hush on it. So by the time the social worker gets there, oh, you're going to come take my child away. No. I got a referral from the school. That's where it came from. I'm doing my. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yeah.
Prime example, right? Yeah, we have a massive housing issue in the UK right now.
I was about to talk to you about that. Yeah.
So, this is me telling, none of a second, right? This is me telling families, right? Yeah. If you think your social worker is moving you to yards, or you're getting no.
It's not happening.
No,
we don't have the power.
They do not have the power. Right? Yeah. Right. I think about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it's like if a woman was to get pregnant, right? Yeah, straight away, bang, she's getting a flat. No,
this is what I'm trying to tell people. When they're saying
your social worker cannot,
it's not happening. They don't have the capacity.
They don't have the power.
The system, Princess, has really, really changed. And one thing I've got to say to families that I think families and the public who watch this have to understand that social work right now is in a place whereby actually we are struggling. You've got social workers who are leaving the profession. There's high caseloads. Social workers are getting burnt out. So social workers don't feel, Princess, that actually the profession is even safe enough for them to work in because of the high caseloads. It's a lot of work. So there's a lot of deficiencies. And this is why through the podcast with Rob, I talk a lot about it because I want families to know we're also struggling too. We are also, me as a team manager, Princess, I still go out and do frontline work, which is not my role as a team manager, but I do that anyway because actually, if my team are struggling, I can't sit back and not go and do visits. Sometimes I go and do visits 8, 9, 10 o'clock to go and see young people because I need to help my team. And I explain this to families, so I think the families also have to understand as well. And it's not their role to understand, but they need to look at the climate of social services, that the system itself right now is going through hardship and difficulty.
And that's what I was saying to you, right? Yeah, right. But that's the problem. That is the problem because, all right, local authority now. Local authority there is no actual blueprint on a piece of paper or on the wall saying A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Yeah, right. There is no actual up-to-date, ethos or guideline. This is what my social worker should be doing. Another thing as well, right? Yeah. Damn, I lost my train of thought now, right? Yeah.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah, another thing as well, is that damn, I lost my train of thought.
It'll come back to you. But what I wanted to ask you guys as well is there a correlation between single parent families and violent or wayward teenagers?
Yes. There is.
Because when Nana was speaking about him actively being like, look, get up, go to school, etc. And the mum's like, yeah, you have to do that. I find that sometimes working with these young people, a lot of them, because I work in different settings and sometimes I do intervention and prevention in residential settings. And a lot of the children have actually come from households where their caregiver, which is usually in those cases a woman, can no longer, they're outside of parental control. So they're not listening to their mum, and their mum actually really just needs a reinforcement. They need a male figure. I'm going to keep it a buck. They need a male figure to say, do you know something, young man? Like you said, this is a big G check now. Number one, don't talk to your mum like that. That's not how we deal with women. Number two, you need to look about yourself because you are becoming a young man. So what you need to do is think about what you want for yourself and get up and go and get your education.
There you go.
And literally having that figure, that male figure who is showing them, I don't even think it's tough love, but giving them that direction, but they come with that masculine energy that they have to think twice to challenge. Because let's be real, the young boys, they are discovering their masculinity. They come into puberty and they realize I'm bigger than my mum. My voice is now loud. It can intimidate her. She's taking a different stance with me because a lot of the time people are like, the parents, pointing pointing fingers. And this mum is literally doing everything she can. She's tried every way, but let us be really real. When your child is challenging you and he's 6'3" and you're 5'5", and you're saying, let me see in your bag. And he says, no, I don't.
You see this, You see this? Well, not this. You see what's the apps on this? The social media.
Yeah.
So it's society and the mobile phone. Society and the mobile phone, right? Yeah. And what I mean by that, you know, there's a industry, right? Yeah. Or there's energy in the air. Right now, this is just a personal point, right here. We're living in a very toxic time right now.
Speak on it, yeah.
Social, like, there are some days I don't go on social media for about 5 days because I just like, I feel like screaming. It's just like, oh my God, like, you know, like it's just so negative and toxic. We're just putting down each other. But onto the young people now. 90% of young youth offenders right now, this is from the age of 14 to 18, right? 90% of them who go inside, who have been imprisoned, don't have fathers, or there's no father figure.
90%, wow.
Right, yeah?
Wow.
There are so many different conversations to this anyway, right, yeah? But a lot of them don't have any father figure, and it's just mum. Now, at the end of the day, right, yeah, you know, and this is where, you know, I've got such a admiration because there are at least probably like 70% of mothers in London, not outside of London, in London only, right, 70%. And there are single mothers who are doing mum and dad's job. There are some fathers, waste men, irresponsibleness, not stepping up. They're not doing their job role, right? Yeah, and they make it hard for the man them who are actually trying to do their job role, right? Yeah, but 70% is high. This is just in London, yeah. So, what is she supposed to do?
What is she supposed
to do? Yeah, and you're right? And then there's also an energy within the schools, right? Yeah. Right, and yes, I remember social media is changing now. So cryptocurrency, young people are finding different ways of making money now. Crypto, details, which is frauds, bank accounts, whatnot. I'm just keeping it real, I can go on and on, right? Yeah. So there's like they sell drugs, right? Yeah.
And you've got the underage girls on OnlyFans and things like that.
Come on now, listen. One of my young people is a couple of years ago, right? He was selling drugs. He's making $2,000 a week. Some grown adults don't make. That's the monthly wages, right? Yeah. Right. He's 16, 17. He's making $2,000 a week. He says to me, "Rah, what should I go to college or university for? I'm making $2,000 a week." But then, as I said to him, I said, "Okay, cool. Let's see how this turns out in another 8 weeks and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, right, with these young people, it's about making money.
Yeah.
There is an obsession with money. How do I make money? But then also as well, what's quite sad as well in social media, right? Yeah, there's actually more young people who are actually doing more great things than the negative aspect, which is obviously in media.
We don't see it enough.
Yeah, right. But in our particular line of work, though, it's toxic right now. It's bad right now, and everyone's struggling. And this is why we have to pull through together as a unit.
We do. I think there needs to be more support. I think there needs to be more support for social workers. I think there needs to be more support for youth offending team. I think there needs to be more support, and you need a team within the social work team that you can allocate things to, because there's so much to do. And maybe AI coming in will help with the admin side of things. But I know, right?
I love AI now.
No, it's true. I'm a little bit afraid.
No, I love my AI, man.
Let's wait and see how it plans out.
But yeah, let's see. But I just think in the admin side of things, I can
show you some things on my phone, you know.
Yeah.
AI, are you mad?
Yeah, I know.
Wicked, but we need to wait and see how it plays out. You know,
see how it pans out. But I just feel like the amount of admin you guys have to do and the caseloads, realistically, the quality of work is going to be compromised.
It is.
Let's be real.
Okay, so that was the point I was trying to say earlier, right? There's a saying, right? Yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat that again slowly. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah,
right. If the framework of a social worker is not changed, nothing's gonna change.
The outcome's gonna be the same.
You're gonna continue to see the high case load of social workers resigning
and the turnout,
and
exactly.
leaving.
And then where do you leave? Where do social workers leave? Where does that leave those children and families who are vulnerable?
Exactly.
And this is where a serious case review happens. And this is where social workers get the blame, because often it's like, well, you know, have you thoroughly gone and seen that child? There's missed opportunities. The social worker's caseload is very high. These are the things, Princess, that's happening, and this is what I'm trying to champion and change through the platform, to get the government to wake up, to get people to look at this is what we're dealing with, but also to get the universities to also see that this is what the next generation is going to be dealing with. We need to arm them up.
Definitely. Do you think a team within the team would help? Because as you were talking, I was just thinking. So I know some parents, they're saying, I need respite. I need someone to come in and speak to my child in school. I need them to be out in the community and somebody like doing activities and things like that with them. Yeah. So would a team within the social work team help? And is there money for that?
The thing is, Princess, a team within a team is important, is needed.
They can't do it.
The issue, Princess, is always going to be funding.
Okay.
Yeah, because also, like, for example, like respite, a lot of parents, where a social worker is involved will ask for respite. There has to be funding for that. So even if a social worker goes to their manager, so like for me, I hold a certain budget for my team, but I have to manage that. I can't go over because there's a level of scrutiny because everybody's cutting back. So the issue is that as there isn't the money available to do these things, because I wish that parents would have the opportunity to have respite.
They need it.
They need it for their children. It's not always there. But I also feel as though is that the interventions that are out there, I mean, me and Rob know brilliant organizations. You have Respect Rebellion, you've got Andrew Fuller, you've got Boys to Men, you've got a lot of community organizations, Justin from United Borders, who are out there. And the issue is that the government know about these organizations, either they're blind or they're missing them. These community groups as well can also help to bridge the gap. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know, right? I agree. No, I do agree with. Okay, so maybe I've got a different stance. You see what you said? It's quite deep. I'll tell you why it's quite deep. It all depends on the circumstances and the scenario of the young person. Now, if we're talking, does that young person need mentoring? Then yeah. What Nana said just now in terms of mentoring, like male
making that
role models and the father figures, or like a big brother figure, no problem at all. Because as a social worker will work with a multi-agency or someone from youth offending, or it could be from that borough. Oh, do you provide mentoring? They'll find a mentoring service for that young person to work with that young person after school on the weekend. Now, respite. If we're talking about a special educational need, right? Right? Or just respite, then it's a different team. Right? Or a different organization, right? So there are services there, right? And one thing I would say, local authority, this is where I do feel they're very good at. When it does come to respite, there are services in each local authority.
In-house.
In-house.
Really? What are they called? Because I've had I've liaised personally with social workers on parents' behalf. Like, this parent is absolutely burnt out. If you don't help, you're going to have to help because you will have to remove the child because the parent's mental health, their physical health deteriorating. A weekend would do so much for this parent. Please give them respite. And they say to me, there's no respite option
in their
at
borough.
all. Yeah.
All right. So there's services. We'll talk after, but there's services. There are independent services that do provide that as well, right? Yeah. So semi-independency, which I know you're aware of, right? Yeah. So there are a lot of semi-independencies that I know of in different parts of London that provide that service as well. Nana's absolutely right. It is funding, but there is also affordable fees that can actually, be affordable for the parent, but maybe for the local authority to like maybe go half or pay some of the money, whatever.
To subsidise.
Okay.
So there are ways of going around it, whatnot and everything. But you are right. Because as I said before, when it comes to special educational needs, so this is children with maybe a disability or I don't know, autism,
they usually do get the
loads of services.
They usually do get the respite,
and they're quite good at everything. But it just depends on it.
Yeah, but if you've just got a challenging teen, which is those are the parents that I usually support, it's very rare that they are given a respite option.
It is very rare, Princess. It is. I have to be honest. It is very, very rare, and it's also difficult because I've had many cases in the past where parents like, I need respite, and I've been looking and it's like, well, you know what, I can't. Is there like I haven't come across personally I haven't come across like a respite
facility.
facility.
And that's what needs
Yeah.
to
Well, you
happen.
know-
I've said this for years.
And for me,
Okay.
Princess, you know what? If there was, I don't know
Would
if
save
anyone's
them
going to do
from jail, Nana.
but, yeah.
It would save them from
Yeah,
jail.
Well, you know-
if there
Would
was a
save them.
respite, the same way that you've got semi-independence for children and young in care, if there was like a respite well-being center
Come on.
for parents,
Come on.
if somebody
Come
had the,
on.
and I don't even know why I didn't have the brain to just think to do, but if there was a respite well-being center